Hi, I am Corey Spangler, and I would like to talk to you about a little initiative that I've kicked off this week in Arkansas to try to bring accountability to Arkansas politics and to help the Democrats win back some of the trust that they have sacrificed over the last few cycles. So here in Arkansas, I chair the Democratic Party of Lonoke County, and I sit on the state committee for the Democratic Party of Arkansas. And on Monday, March 31st, 2025, I submitted a rules change amendment to the Office of Party Affairs for the Democratic Party of Arkansas. And this rule change has three main points. Point one is that it prohibits the Democratic Party of Arkansas, its county parties and auxiliaries, and any candidates for or nominees of the Democratic Party of Arkansas from accepting money from corporations or corporate-aligned political action committees. We may be asking, what is a corporate-aligned political action committee? Point two is that the Rules Committee is empowered and required to publish a list of prohibited political action committees before candidate filing will begin in November. And then the third point is that the Rules Committee will determine any remediation or corrective action that should be taken from any violation of this rule. So this measure bakes into the Democratic Party of Arkansas a mechanism by which we can hold ourselves accountable for the influence that money plays in our politics. This isn't a big sweeping reform that will immediately prevent anyone from getting any money from anybody. This is just a new process by which we will democratically hold ourselves accountable. The only corporations and PACs that will be restricted from donating to the party are those that the Rules Committee proscribes. I'm doing this because I've come to believe that the corrupting influence of money in politics is the root cause of the collapse that we're seeing and that we've seen in the last few months. And I believe that the corrupting influence of money in politics is the key reason why the Democratic Party has lost its way with voters. If you've been around the last few years, you've noticed that as the establishment wing of the Democrats fought harder against the populist wing of their own party, of the Bernie Sanders wing of the party, than they fought against MAGA. They've had to water down their message. They've had to reject some of the more popular policy proposals of that wing of the party that are popular with undecideds, even with Republicans, and they've replaced it with an identity message that no one finds inspiring. And it's because if they were to adopt the policies of the actual left, the populist left, the economic left, it wouldn't be good for their donor base, and they can't have that. And in that way, the more we rely on this corporate money, the less free we are to lead as we have to survive this era in American politics. But not only that, like this is the root cause of all of this. Like the Citizens United was decided on January 21st, 2010, and 15 years to the day nearly on January 20th, 2025, our billionaire president was sworn back in with his billionaire handlers standing behind him. We must address this issue on a national level. Doing it at the party level is not enough, but it's a start, and we will not address this issue until one of the two parties takes this seriously, at least internally. It's my pitch that Democrats must be that party, and that Arkansas Democrats are in a unique position, and that we aren't that dependent on corporate money. That we can lead the way, we can be the model, and we can show Democrats nationally how to do this. And the last point of my pitch and my call to action is that there is a fear that permeates amongst Democrats that this thing that I'm talking about would destroy the party. I've had people tell me that personally, that this would destroy us. It's unilateral disarmament, and it's not. I mean, if we adopt this rule and the Rules Committee doesn't proscribe anybody, then nothing happens. This is just a mechanism to hold ourselves accountable. However, the way that I've come to view it is kind of cyclical, that as Democrats came to rely on more corporate donations, they were forced to make some sacrifices in their platforms. They were forced to make some sacrifices in their principles and their ethics. And the small dollar donations dried up. The folks stopped coming to the rallies. The folks stopped coming to the county party meetings. But because they were getting corporate money and they were able to maintain in solidly blue districts, nobody really said anything. Nobody really cared. We gave lip service to it, but nobody really cared. And it seems like kind of a defeatist attitude that if you think that your party cannot win without corporate money, you are saying both that you don't have the faith in your message, in your beliefs, that it would bring voters to your side, and you also don't have faith in the American people, that if just given something to believe in, that they'll show up. And you have the faith in the American people that they can discern fact from fiction, which is true for about a third of the population. But I'm saying that we have to have faith. We have to have faith in ourselves. We have to have faith in the legislation that we propose. We have to have faith in our ability to ideate and to inspire. And we have to have faith in the American people to know a good idea when they see it. After the election, I think everybody kind of coped a little bit differently. I kind of retreated back into Stoic philosophy, and I was in the deer stand in November, and I was reading Day Off the Seas by Marcus Tullius Cicero, and it's literally he's writing to his son, and he's just talking about his experiences in politics and how he sees it's Day Off the Seas means on duties. So he's describing, the way he understands obligations and duties and his duty as a civic leader and stuff. And he writes that one of the most pernicious lies that's ever plagued humanity is the belief that a thing can be right without being politically expedient, and that it can be expedient without being right. And that it struck me that in a sane world, if all things being equal, if everyone knew the truth and we had a shared understanding of the world and shared ethics, and a shared vision of reality, like if we understood the facts as they were, if it was right, it would always be the politically expedient thing to do. And if it was politically expedient, it would always be the right thing to do. So I'm leaning into that. I'm just do the right thing and people will follow you. Like, do the right thing and people will support you. That's my message to Democrats. That's why I'm trying to do this. It's a very small step, but it's one that I can actually affect and actually change. So I'm going out there for it. And my request is that you sign the petition. It is linked in my profile. We want to show the party that this is a real idea that has teeth and that folks support it. So please sign the petition and support this movement to begin to stem the tide and begin to stymie the influence of corporations and special interests in our politics. Thanks.